In The Last of Us Part 2, Isaac Dixon stands out as one of the game's most enigmatic and intimidating characters. Played by acclaimed actor Jeffrey Wright, Isaac is the leader of the Washington Liberation Front (WLF), also known as the Wolves, a militant faction based in Seattle. Though his screen time in the game is limited, Isaac's presence looms large, and his impact on the narrative and characters is significant. With the HBO series expanding the Last of Us universe, fans are eager to see more of Isaac's backstory and how Jeffrey Wright's portrayal might deepen our understanding of this complex figure. Who is Isaac Dixon? Isaac Dixon is the hardened commander of the WLF, a paramilitary group that formed in the aftermath of the cordyceps brain infection outbreak. The WLF originated from a grassroots rebellion against Fedra, the federal military government that imposed brutal martial law in quarantine zones. In Seattle, Isaac led an uprising that overthrew Fedra's hold on the city, ultimately establishing the WLF as the region's dominant force. Isaac is known for his ruthless pragmatism, military precision, and unyielding leadership. He commands respect and fear among his ranks, not because of charisma or empathy, but due to his calculated control and willingness to do whatever is necessary to protect his people and eliminate perceived threats. One of his most controversial decisions was waging a brutal war against the Seraphites, also called Scars, a religious cult with whom the WLF has long been at odds. Isaac's refusal to pursue peace talks with the Seraphites demonstrates his philosophy: survival through strength and domination. Jeffrey Wright as Isaac, from game to screen. In The Last of Us Part 2, Jeffrey Wright voices and provides the likeness for Isaac. His performance, though brief, adds gravitas to the character. Wright brings a grounded intensity that perfectly encapsulates Isaac's moral ambiguity. As the HBO adaptation continues to expand the game's lore, Wright's casting opens the door for a more in-depth look at Isaac's origins and the events that shaped him into the militant leader we see in the game. In an expanded origin story, Isaac's background could explore his time under Fedra's rule, perhaps as a former soldier or survivor who witnessed firsthand the abuses of the military state. This would explain his initial motivation to lead the WLF revolution and could humanize him beyond the role of antagonist. Was he once idealistic, only to be hardened by loss and betrayal? Did he have personal ties with WLF members like Abby, Manny, or Nora before he became their superior? These are the types of character beats that could bring depth to Isaac's stoic facade. Potential HBO backstory expansion. The HBO series has already shown a willingness to elaborate on characters from the games, giving Bill and Frank an emotional arc, for example, so expanding Isaac's story seems not only likely but necessary. A possible origin story might involve Isaac as a disillusioned Fedra officer who defects after witnessing the execution of innocent civilians, particularly children. From there, he could form a resistance cell that grows into the WLF, driven by the promise of freedom and justice. However, as the movement gains power, Isaac's ideals could erode under the weight of leadership, shifting from revolutionary to autocrat. Jeffrey Wright's nuanced acting makes him perfect for portraying such a transformation. He excels at playing morally complex leaders, as seen in roles like Bernard in Westworld and James Gordon in The Batman. His Isaac could be a man tormented by the gap between what he hoped to build and what he has become, offering the audience a chilling commentary on how power, no matter the intention, can corrupt. Isaac and Abby, a complicated dynamic. In The Last of Us Part 2, Isaac's relationship with Abby Anderson is central to understanding his worldview. While he clearly respects her as a capable soldier, he is also willing to sacrifice her when she defies his orders. This dynamic shows the limits of loyalty within the WLF's militaristic structure. If the HBO show delves deeper into their past, we might see how Isaac mentored Abby following her father's death, possibly filling a surrogate father figure role. This would make their eventual clash even more emotionally charged. Conclusion: Isaac Dixon is a fascinating character defined by contradictions, a liberator who becomes a tyrant, a protector who becomes a destroyer. With Jeffrey Wright bringing him to life, Isaac has the potential to be one of the most compelling figures in the Last of Us universe. As HBO continues to build on the game's foundation, giving Isaac a richer origin story would not only enhance the narrative but also deepen the show's exploration of how trauma, power, and ideology shape human behavior in a post-apocalyptic world. Whether as a feared warlord or a fallen idealist, Isaac's story is one that deserves to be told.